Hello, everyone. This is Brian Beamish, ER Investor, the Canadian Rational Investor, coming to you with a Bitcoin summary for Wednesday, or I guess Thursday, June 12th, 2014. And I think we have to start off today with a simple statement that the Bitcoins are breaking down. Late yesterday, I guess I don't know exactly what time it was. Let's see if it shows it here. Zip, zip, zip. It doesn't have a timestamp on this. But anyway, I guess about halfway through um, Wednesday's session through the evening, we had a lot of price breakdowns here. I'm right now showing on the screen the 4-hour bit stamp chart. Just I saw this chart and it really jumped out at me as a nice clean breakdown. So I published this. It was just a quick comment, and by all means, I highly encourage everyone who does watch these videos to follow me on Twitter, because then that way you get these updates as they happen. I have a nice little Twitter feed. This tweet went out 18 hours ago, but long and short of it here, as you can see from the price chart, we had a double top here within a bigger double top. And of course, if you've been watching my videos lately, you'll know that I was pretty reluctant to get sucked into the buy side on this current pattern here. I really want to see the market come down to this 38.2 at least before we start getting a new buy signal. Am I going to liquidate the rest of my long position? I got a third of my long position left. Really, my hunch is I'd rather just try and hold on to it, and should we get a buying opportunity at the 38.2 fib, or even, if the market has to come back down to the OTE long sweet spot, that's where I want to add to my long position. Not really interested in selling out. Having said that, price is breaking down, so we have to respect that. Full disclosure, let's pop over to the Finex chart just so we can review what I have done. This is the 4-hour chart we've been talking about for a while now. Here's this yellow box, is the nice narrow sideways channel or inverted head and shoulders that I bought at 460, and I spoon-fed a third of my position out, a third of my position out, and right now I'm sitting on a third of my remaining position. And as I've said in previous commentaries, I'm looking to be a buyer going forward, so I want to add to my position. So I'm not really in a big hurry to get wrapped up in the sell side right at the moment. Just putting this whole move into context, we'll just back up a second. We talked about this a bit. This was the January 2014 peak. This was the April 2014 trough. Here's the 50% level, Mr. Gann. So indeed, market ran up to that, ran into quite a bit of resistance. We've been going sideways for probably about a week or so, and we had a little head fake double bottom, and I had suggested those that have the double bottoms in their trading plans that they should act appropriately. That was here to here to here. That double bottom has failed, so you should have been at the very worst stopped out at 637.01 and walked away from that long trade. As I have said in my previous commentaries, I don't really want to seriously take a look at doing any new buying until at least we come down to this 38.2, and that's 555. So here we are right now at 620. I could very easily see the Bitcoin lose another $70 here. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Now, we do have two support lines coming up here in the short term, so we probably will see some sort of bounce off of that. You can see we have this low here, 620, and we also have this low here at 615. So here we are, we bottomed at 618. That's confirmed now this massive double top, and you guys have heard me talk about this before. If we get a top which would be here to here to here, and then roll over and confirm that. And then you also get another little double top inside this portion of the top, and that would be here to here to here. These are pretty powerful signals. And so my basic hunch here is that this sideways consolidation that's been going on for about a week or so is now starting to resolve, and it's resolving bearishly. At the very best, I suppose we can just simply say, why don't we pull up the 15-minute chart, and we'll take a little more detailed look at that. But just to finish off, whoops, let's get rid of that. Just to finish off this higher time frame chart, I think it's important to understand that 38.2 is a nice first stop target. If we were going to clean this up, we could very easily come down to this 553 area, put in a nice bottom, and then resume higher. And if we did do that, technicians, if the bottom did come off the 38.2 and we started to move higher, technicians would actually look at that and say, well, this market structure is still pretty still pretty bullish. So keep that in mind. I mean, just because we're cleaning things up here doesn't necessarily mean we're heading into a new bear market. Indeed, one might argue that we won't actually officially declare this bull market over until this 78.6 fib is given. So that's $413. So she's got one heck of a wide trading range right at the moment. Long and short of this message is that, yes, we did have a nice rally up into that higher time frame 50% level, and now we're correcting back down from that. So if we just take a look at a shorter term chart, here is the 15 minutes of this FNX, and so you can see these key levels here. These are these horizontal lines, and you can see how we broke this one here just briefly, and our next key support line is this low here. So I would argue market's pretty much range bound between these levels. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some play back to the upside. I suppose those that are seriously considering putting on short positions, you're best to follow Mr. Huddleston and his OTE strategy, and he would have suggested, had you wanted to be short, that you should be shorting up in this box here. And sure enough, there was your shorting opportunity, and that actually worked out quite well. Going forward, does it make sense to short or sell here? Absolutely not. I suppose one could argue that, if you are thinking of shorting wherever the bottom is, and we don't know exactly where that is right at the moment, it might be a few dollars lower. You just don't know. But wherever this bottom ultimately comes in, if we do OTEs off of that, if you do want to join the short party, you probably want to focus on this 651 to 660 area. So just keep that in mind if you are thinking about setting up shorts going forward. So, the simple message of today, unfortunately, and, this just happens, is the way the market is. Can't go up all the time. As we said right off the bat, we had a big sell signal there, came in last night, and I posted this chart. And what was interesting was that, Finex had not broken down, right? We hadn't gone through these support lines. The stamp had broken down, and I actually put a note on yesterday's video. Be careful, stamp has already broken down. It just goes to show that, all these various exchanges, they all act a little differently. It's probably a good idea just to take a quick boo at each of them, just to confirm which way things are going in the broader picture. Unfortunately, I don't have 20 screens here, so I can't exactly do that. So I'm sort of focused on the FNX. That's where my primary position is and where my cash is. So if I'm going to do a trade, that's where I'm going to do it. So that's why I'm following the FNX so closely. All right, so that basically gives your summary. The bull is on the sidelines for the time being. We're looking for some technical targets to the downside to consider new purchases. And really, at this point, if you did want to join the short trade, you can see you have short setup zones here up top, and those shorts actually did work quite nicely for people that shorted this OTE here. And I would argue if you did want to consider the short side of the trade, this is the area you probably want to focus in on. Last thing I'll mention here, looking at momentum and volume, it's always a good idea to keep them in mind. I don't see any sort of technical reason here for us to start getting bullish yet. This is making lower highs and lower lows. Remember we talked about a bit yesterday about how this had rallied off the bottom here. Well, that's rolled over, and now if this level's taken out, that'll be another bearish signal from OBV. And then we were looking at the momentum, and we had just the smatterings of a bottom, and now that's been wiped out. So now we actually potentially have a bullish momentum divergence forming here. So we'll watch to see how that does over the next little while. And then you'll remember yesterday too, I also commented about how, I really didn't like how my overbought and oversold indicator was just sort of sitting a mid-level here through this little double bottom, and sure enough, that was a head fake, and down we go. The fast signal of the momentum overbought oversold, my Willie 21 indicator, now is nice and embedded in the oversold zone, and you can see the moving average is getting into our sort of it's getting there. It's not quite stupid yet, but it's getting into closer and closer day by day. If we can start getting some market structure that supports bullish notions, if Willie does get nice and stupid here, I think we actually might set up a bit of a long trade. And really that would make sense because, like I said, I really don't like the idea of shorting down here. This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And we could see a nice $40, $50 rally just to get back to the OTE short sweet spot. And, a nice Willie oversold condition might, just set that up for us. All right, so that's a Bitcoin summary for today, Thursday, June 12th. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.